Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Sam Gregory, and in this video for Fotospeed, I'm going to be talking about the Kaiser Star Cluster 144 Vario light, which is an excellent little LED light that you can clip onto the top of your camera for various different uses for photography and for videography, and also you can attach to a tripod. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the features and benefits of it compared to, say, using a ring light or any other small light as well. Now, before I get into that, just check out the Fotospeed channel and do make sure you subscribe for all our latest videos on photography equipment, on printing, how to print from home, different papers, and also talking to all sorts of leading photographers about their practice as well. But without any further ado, let's jump into this Kaiser Vario light and talk about what comes with it, how you use it, and when it might be the most useful thing to have in your kit. Okay, well, let's just have a quick look at what comes inside it and some of the tech spec. As you can see, nice, easy box. Just whip it open there. You've got little basic instructions in the operating manual. Whip the top off. And let's just have a little look at the light itself. Now, 144 LED lights there. They are high CRI LEDs. And I do think that one neat thing about it is that you've got a white balance variability there of 3,200 to 5,600, and you can just dial that here in on the back, plus really simple on off with dimmable switch there as well. Now, we'll just point out that on the back here you can use a specific Sony type pack. I think that's the NPF battery, which could just stick on the back here, and that's rechargeable. Or if you don't have one of those, which I don't, you can just use 6AA batteries, and they will last a couple of hours at full power, or more than that, of course, if you don't have it on full power. Now, a couple of other quick things in the box just to mention. These are little clip adapters which you can use on this system, which is quite neat. If you had a multitude of these, you can actually attach them together by using the little clips and then sliding your other light on top. So you could bank up a rack of them, and I'll talk more about that in the demonstration in a moment. The other thing I just wanted to point out is obviously the attachment here, which just screws in, and then you have your hot shoe kind of adapter here, which can just slide over the hot shoe on the camera, and there you go, your light is on. The other neat thing here is you do have some adjustability here. So even when the light is on the camera, you can push it forwards and back and left and right and move it around on that, which is quite a neat little pivot. Now, talking a bit on the camera, let's get it on there and I'll have a quick chat with you about how it works. Okay, so now we've seen what's inside the box, let's just get it on the camera. And you can see it here on the Nikon Z with the 35mm lens. Now, why do I tell you that? Well, because a lot of videographers are using these mirrorless cameras, Sonys, Nikons, Canons to some degree now as well. And they're also adding lights on top because you can go to places and you don't quite know what light you're going to get. And it's usually quite nice to have something on the front of the camera. Now, this particular light, the 144 Vario, is 300 grams, so it's not heavy, it's not super lightweight, but I'd say it's always a balance. Some of the very lightweight things I've tried on cameras like this just feel really plasticky and cheap and horrible, and like they're not going to last very long. Whereas this does feel pretty sturdy without being overly weighty, and I have confidence about its longevity. Now, it's super easy to use. You can use it with batteries included, which just come out here. And you can see I've got my batteries loaded in there. Or you can attach a little battery pack here, which is one of the Sony types, and you could have it without the internals, and you can just use that battery pack, which is obviously rechargeable as well. And the other thing I want to point out just while we're on the back here is that you have your on and off, and you have your temperature dial here as well. And that can go from 3,200 Kelvin to 5,600 Kelvin as well, which is obviously kind of daylight balanced. So that is one of the main benefits, I would say, as this sort of light versus maybe perhaps a ring light. And I've done a separate video about the Kaiser R60 and KR90 ring lights, which do a slightly different job and are all set to just daylight balanced. This, you can vary the lighting. Now, if you're a videographer especially, that can be very useful. You might go into rooms and situations where it's very cold, light-wise I mean, daylight temperature-wise, or you might go into places where it's very warm because of the artificial lighting and you want to cool the subject down a little bit. So having this dial is a really neat way to control the warmth of your white balance. Now the only issue, if I'm being picky, is that these and most of the other lights like this I've seen don't actually tell you what that Kelvin rating is as you dial it round. You kind of just have to guess, and you get used to knowing where they are. And sometimes I would just do little tests and mark it on the back. So just a little picky thing, which would be neat if they could work that functionality in. Now if we get back to the positives though, as I say, nice weight, nice feel, it's about the right sort of size. The great thing with these, which is super neat, is that they can be bolted together. So you could actually buy a number of these and rack them up using these little slips here. And you could have them on the side, you can have them on the top. So you could have like a bank of 4 and have 3 or 4 in your bag and just bank them up as and when you need to give yourself a bit more light. That is neat, and I haven't seen that on many of the other standalone lights. It also has the threaded thing on this end and on the bottom, so that you could actually just put that into a tripod or a little stand and have it off as a side light filling in. So if we just actually turn it on, you can see that it's dimmable here on the back, and it pumps out a reasonable amount of light. The angle I believe is around 50 degrees, so not super narrow but not super wide either, but generally if you're having it on the top here, that's about neat for what you want to do. And commonly I would say this is great for just putting a little bit of light onto your subject matter if you're doing a headshot, if you're doing a piece to camera, maybe with videography as well. Now I did mention those other ring lights are options to do, but I think with videography maybe this is better for most situations, because you are not asking the speaker or the person you're recording to stare into a load of lights down the barrel of the lens. And generally if you have them up top here, that isn't too disturbing for the person on camera. So all in all, I would say I've tried a good number of these from various different brands, to be honest. Some feel really super lightweight, plasticky and cheap and don't last long. Others potentially go too far the other way and they feel super hardcore, but they're way too heavy and also they just can be very, very expensive. I think this is a nice balance. It gives you quality, it gives you flexibility with regards to that racking up of other lights, which might be quite neat if you're in a studio situation as well. It gives you the ability to change the white balance, and you have the fully dimmable ability as well. Plus you can use AA batteries, or you can use a detachable battery on the back there as well. So all in all, it's pretty spec heavy, and for that reason I would say it's probably one of the best on-camera LED units that I have used, so it's well worth checking out. Now that's it today from me, but if you do want to catch up more with Fotospeed, as I say, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I shall speak to you very soon.